Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored match build-up show.
Big game, Paul!
Massive game. Liverpool taking on Plymouth away from home in the replay of the third round. Clash that's ended not quite how we would have had it the first time around at home. Jim Boardman's here, Chris Pajak's here. I'm here, as you can tell. Chris, for you, and obviously you're going to do a start 11 prediction of this. Stick at 1-0. Would you, because we had the debate around the final word after this game, was that you've got, I think there's two mentalities really for this, is don't dick about anymore, get this game won by putting out a full strength team and making sure you book your progression to play against Wolves in the next round. And the other one is, you know what, we trusted the kids to play in the first game. If we truly trust in the kids, trusting them again to get the job done. Where do you fall?
I'm 100% behind playing roughly the same side as last time, to be perfectly honest with you. I think, look, Plymouth played out of the skin at Anfield. They had an amazing away support. I'm sure their atmosphere at their ground will be amazing again. The Liverpool atmosphere, I think, don't underestimate that. I don't think we've ever played away at Plymouth, have we? So I think tickets will be a bit like fucking rocking or shit, to be honest with you. Very hard to get hold of. And as such, I think the away atmosphere is going to be amazing from Liverpool fans. But it's all about the development of these young players, and you know whether Trent Alexander-Arnold starts could be the big question actually of the midweek tie. And for me, I would definitely trust in those players because you don't give them any confidence by pulling them now. Yeah. You know, it's you've gone out and you've played against them. You know what they're about. Now go and prove you're better than them.
Is there maybe a middle ground, Jim, where kind of you wouldn't pull everyone out of that team as such, but maybe, because my opinion at the time of the Plymouth game was we were probably one more senior player on that pitch away from being the kind of threat we needed to be. What do you think? Do we add maybe put a Lallana in or put a someone out or a Sturridge?
Well, I was going to say, what I look at it is like which of our main kind of first team substitutes, if you like, or players who have been injured, could we get some benefit from giving 90 minutes to? And I think, you know, maybe this is a game, if he's available, you bring Matip back because he's not played now for a while, has he? And that he's obviously still going to have fitness issues, I assume, coming back, and that would be a good game for him to come back into. Level head, he'd be good influence around the kids in the team. And Sturridge is another one. He's not getting a lot of game time. Maybe that'd be a good game for him. In fact, if anything, you know, we still had Origi playing in that game. We brought the big guns on towards the end and we still didn't score a goal. So, you know, I don't think you can be critical of the young players. Yeah. I think Plymouth really, really played well at what they did because that's all they were determined that we were not going to score and they managed it. It only takes one goal from us and that game plan goes to pieces. So, you know, I think anyone who gets dropped, if you like, that's not the right word, to me, should only be dropped for a player who's been brought in because it benefits us for the league as well.
I think it's telling. We'll have, obviously, the time we'll film this Monday morning. Liverpool under 23s take on Man United under 23s on the Monday night, and I guess we'll have a clearer picture once we see what's there. Because my one for me is like Harry Wilson. I think so. I read something. I think he's nearly got 20 goals this season, playing for the 23s. He's captain. He looks sensational. I'd like to get a look at him, just in terms of just to give us another different option. But I guess right here, right now, Sturridge is the one for me. I've got him in there in the agenda. If we were going to have someone to lead the line, someone like that, because he's a proven match winner, and maybe this is the kind of thing that Daniel Sturridge kind of needs, is that if you put him in as the senior professional in a team of younger players around him, he will, you know, I think he will take that responsibility, and I think he will do that really well.
He looked to grab that responsibility. It was Plymouth when he came on, wasn't it? And he looked the best player on the park, and you know, I think it'll do him the world of good to go out and play in this game, and I think he should probably play in this game, to be perfectly honest with you. I think he will be the difference. It's not on the agenda. It's something I brought up the other day to you. I'm not a fan of getting sold by Plymouth, by the way. Did you see their Twitter? I think it's at only one Argyle, and they went 1-0 down to Stevenage at the weekend. They won the game 4-2. But at 1-0, they went, Stevenage have done something Liverpool couldn't do in 90 minutes and scored. I'm not a fan of that.
Right, fuck them.
Right.
Fuck
And
them,
I'd
fuck
I'd be showing that tweet to all the fucking
Yeah,
kids.
that's your magic of your FA Cup shoved back up your ass then. Thanks very much for that one. Hey, let's get this job done now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair play to the social media guy though. He's won.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
won with that
he's
one.
done very
Fucking
well
like
there.
probably 1,000 retweets.
But yeah, I think what's telling you got someone like if you got Shea Ojo, and whether it's Woodburn, I don't know, but think about Daniel Sturridge at the back end of last season when he was kind of playing Liverpool's B team with Ojo in those games as well. I mean, there was one, I think it was the Newcastle game, and Ojo put a great ball in for him to score. I kind of don't mind that, create a different forward line in some respects. And I think the problem we had with Origi is that given the type of game it was, and it's not necessarily going to be that exact same type of game because the game's got to be won.
Yeah.
Here, and you would, regardless of whether you think we'll go down to the lottery of penalties, Liverpool has still got that aura of a team that you don't want to be taken to penalties regardless. And I don't know whether Plymouth will be able to play the same tactics at home. Probably they would be able to as a one-off game. But I just think again, Origi is still a bit raw, and hopefully someone like Daniel Sturridge, just a cool head, been there and done it, but also with a little bit of a point to prove.
Yeah,
because
that point to prove, I think, is the big thing with Daniel. I think he has got a point to prove, hasn't he? And I think, I think Klopp still rates him and still sees uses for him. And he's got to score a goal. That's what you do. That's your job. You're Daniel Sturridge. You score goals, and if he can do that and get us through, it gives Klopp a bit of a question to answer then, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, no, completely.
What about Coutinho, lads?
I thought this as well. I thought, how long have we got between that game and the next one? Where's he up to in his fitness? Will this be a good game for him to come into? I think he should be involved.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You feel a bit cocky saying let's bring him in and just let him play 60 minutes because that's assuming that you won't have any other catastrophes going on after 60 minutes.
It depends entirely because we had this conversation prior to the United game, didn't we, about where you're risking, where you're using, blah blah blah. And again, we'll never know what goes on and what gets said between Klopp and the sports scientists. But if this is if we're managing him, if we've managed him back to full fitness, leave him out because I want him playing at the weekend.
You want him in that side, don't you? The weekend side.
Exactly. I want him primed and ready. I want him to play. I actually want him to play weekend, midweek, weekend, and that, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I want him to play in the big games that are coming up, League, Cup, League. That being said, if he's not quite there, and we are doing this staggered management of him back to full fitness, then 60 minutes, 70 minutes is probably the next natural.
I think you're key what you said there. What the sports scientists think more than what we don't put him on because we think we need him to win the game. We put him on because we think it'll help him to be ready.
Yeah. That's a good point.
For the rest of the season. That's how I would look at it.
And again, I think the thing with Phil Coutinho is I don't like having this pressure of Phil Coutinho is this, we need him, this, come on Phil, go and save us. Go and save us, go and win it, because I don't think that does him any good.
No.
I think he performs better when he gets to just come in and do what he plays football, Yeah. So in that regard, there could be a worse idea than starting him in this game. And again, I think when you talk about the giving the confidence to the kids, I think you can take Ben Woodburn out and it not be a kick in the teeth to him or his development because he's still very, very young and any game time he's getting is still absolutely a bonus for him this season. So you could put Daniel Sturridge and Phil Coutinho in that team, or not even Daniel Sturridge. You could go with Phil Coutinho, Origi and Ojo up front, and that should be more than enough to win this game. But these players have all, regardless of who goes on the pitch, they've got to be up for a fight in this one. There cannot be no expectation that we're just going to rock up and win this one, because if we could do that, we'd have had it done at Anfield.
Yeah, we would have. And look, we're still on the edge of what this squad can do. I think with Mane being on, with the injuries that we've had right now, we're not in the best place for a fight on three fronts in any way, shape or form. But you don't know in 6 weeks what your squad's going to be looking like. If everybody's back, then we're probably much better placed to fight on three fronts.
This is where it all bunches up anyway, isn't it? This is where the season contracts, and you've just got to push through this last bit, and then once you get to it, the games are still so spread out. It's not like Champions League when you're playing every week, or more of a Europa League when you're playing every fucking week, twice a week, all the way to the slogging it through. A couple of cup games here. We'd have one League Cup final and a handful of FA Cup games sprinkled in between now and the end of the season. You'd hope that we can cope with that, but like I said the other week, we've got to get ourselves there. There's no point in worrying about the future. How are we going to handle it in April, fuck April. It's January. Let's fucking win January
and if we
worry about it later.
We can beat Plymouth, and then whoever is it Wolves we'd have in the next round? I think, we can worry about who we pick for that team when we get round to that game, and then if we beat them, we can worry about who we pick for that game when we get to that.
Exactly
So
that, like. Who do we think is going to be the key man for Liverpool in this game, Jim?
Well, depending on who plays. I think the keeper might end up being the key man, as daft as it sounds, because I think what they're going to do is probably try and win set pieces against. So that seems to be long balls and set pieces, because I think, as you say, someone's got to win, and they may sit back for 60 minutes even at their own place, but eventually they're going to start looking for those set pieces. And I think it's the kind of game where, look, these cup games away from home, and you've got your sort of second choice keeper involved, it can be quite frightening, can't it? Adam Bogdan, it's that thing. I think he's going to be the key. If he's nice and calm, it's got to be Klavan, hasn't it, that starts. If I'd be surprised if it wasn't. He's got to be. Sorry, Carrier. Sorry, he's got to be calm. He's got to be assertive, and I think he was the last couple of games.
I think he's nicely rehabilitating himself as a Liverpool goalkeeper. So it's a decent shout. What about you, Chris?
I think Sturridge is going to start, and as such, I think he's going to be the key man.
Yeah.
Look, we all know what Daniel Sturridge is like. You don't need me to sit here and tell you that he's playing against League Two opposition and he's much better than them. That's why I think he's going to be the key man.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Shea Ojo because it was his first game back the other week after in the first team for a long time, and I think there's a few people who seem to have developed some doubts over him, and I think he's a smashing player in potential, and for exactly that reason. Two things. Again, he should be better than League Two opposition because, let's be honest, we've seen a lot of young lads with loads of potential, loads of pace and a bit of tricking, a bit of a shot on them in the attacking positions for Liverpool, and they've gone on to have careers in League One and League Two and the Conference. And that's a divergent path for Ojo, and he's got to look at that and think, I had to prove myself miles better than these guys, or that could be what my future holds. But having someone, if he has someone like Sturridge there to provide the ammunition for, he could make himself look better.
They could work really well together as well, because Sturridge does tend to pull over to that side, and we saw Shea Ojo get into the box one time. It was actually from a ball from Sturridge. That could be something that they could link up really well, just swap places every now and again, and Ojo find himself a little bit of space against the centre-back.
Yeah. Well, your manager wants his options, isn't it? And if he sees a good partnership between them two and stuff, you might even start seeing that in league games and stuff, because I don't think Klopp's bothered about anyone's age. I think he goes on your ability, and he's trying to get the best out of everybody, isn't he? He's trying to time everything right for everyone, and that might be this might be the game where we start to see some of these youngsters actually taking the first steps to becoming established. I mean, like Trent, okay, he's not going to say he's established, but you can guarantee he's going to be on the bench for a lot of our games now, because of what he did the other day.
I guess that's the big one. And I won't ask you this, Chris, because obviously you've got to do starting 11 just yet, and let's not run roughshod over that. But Jim, for you, if Klein's not fit, do you just keep Alexander-Arnold in there, or is he now your first choice right back? So therefore, we need to find someone else to do that job.
Sort of half of me thinks no, you've got to rest him now, because he might be the man we're relying on for I don't even know how long we're going to need him for. But then the second start, he's a young lad. He's used to playing a lot. He's doing a lot of training. I don't think he'll find it a problem playing 3 games in a week. I think he'll be okay. Yeah. And I think, if anything, playing that game after what he's just played, it'll stand him in good stead if he does have to play the next league match. Yeah. So I think you could take a chance on him, and maybe bring him off towards the end if we're doing really well. You're worried about his fitness, but because that's the only other thing, isn't it? What kind of a pitch is it going to be? Is it going to be these heavy, cloggy pitches that everyone comes off injured from, or that's the other thing. I
agree on that. I think that it's not like he's had a slog of a season up to this point. It's not like James Milner playing 3 games in 7 or 8 days or whatever. I've got no problem with Alexander-Arnold getting, because he will actually improve for that. And what you hope is you get 3 games, and you might not see him then for a month. You might not get another game.
But just to play devil's advocate on it, I don't know how long Klein out for. So if he's out for 3 weeks, then you know what? Actually, what is it? 4 games in about 8 days or 9 days maybe is quite a lot of a workload for somebody who's having these emotional highs as well as these physically draining activities and stuff. So it's definitely a question that needs answering right now.
I'm not sure who we've got else.
Who is the answer if he's not him?
There's the Milner right back, Moreno left back.
Would you put Gomez at right back? because he didn't. I don't know. That's not really his position, is it? But
though.
Could he go there for that?
Could.
Emre Can's played there in the past.
Actually, Kev Stewart was a full-back when he at Spurs, wasn't he? So you could if needs be. But
Trent's running on fucking jizz and adrenaline right now, and I'm pretty sure he'll be sound for a little while.
For a bit of nothing else. Okay, score prediction, Jim?
I think we're going to win. I'm being uber confident. I think we're going to win 3-0.
Okay, Chris?
I think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think this will be... I'm hoping this will be, if nothing else, just going there and back to business as usual and just a 2-0. Just one of those scores where it's not so dominant that it's a non-competitive fixture, but it's enough that it's just a good solid win from the Reds. Loads of confidence.
Yeah, we get a goal. You know, they're still playing well. We get another goal.
And then we get another goal.
You know, and then just towards the end, I just see it being 3. You know. Breaking the hearts down in Devon. But.
Amazing. Cool. Well, yeah, let us know your thoughts on how the game's going to go. Who's going to be the key man? What's the score going to be? Let us know in the comments below. Freeview week.
What's the trivia answer?
What was the trivia question?
I don't know. You put trivia answer on there.
Were you not listening?
No.
I asked it earlier.
Oh, Johnny.
Yep, correct. Yeah, we've just finished Redmen TV Freeview Week, so that means there's 3 shows that we normally do on the redmentv.com exclusively, which are available on YouTube.
Answer.
Yes. Do you want to know what it's like? What is the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything?
It's a number.
42.
42.
For shame. It was Redmen TV Freeview Week. 3 shows that normally go behind the paywall. They're there for you to have a look at. There's 2 final words. Actually, there's 4 shows, wasn't there? There was 2 final words.
2 final words. 1 Reds transfer roundup and 1 LFC stat show.
Okay.
And this week's trivia.
And if that's not putting you off watching them, you can go watch them now, and see what we do normally on the redmentv.com. And if you like it, go over there, subscribe, be better human beings, be happier people, and basically help to fund your favourite YouTube channel, the Redmen TV. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the match. We'll be back post-match and during the match and everything in and around that, because we are here and that's what we do. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Have a great week. Ta-ra.